Hello, this is John here, and wanted to run through a bout of fight card boxing so you can see how I've done it. And we'll label this as a test fight. And I haven't rolled for the location. I still got to put that in the rules. We're going to go to the heavyweight division today, and actually welterweight. And we're going to have Wilfredo Benitez versus Henry Armstrong. Benitez has a work rate of 73, intensity of 5, endurance of 78. Armstrong 75 for work rate, intensity of 6, and endurance of 74. So pretty evenly matched here. All right. So what we're going to do here is, let me put the boxers in here. Benitez. Now for Jason, I know you don't use score sheets, but this might be one you might want to at least start off with until you're comfortable with a method of your own. We're going to put the, we got the endurance here up here to start with, so there's no sense in putting it down again. Okay. Each round is going to have two separate sections to it, two separate parts. The first one is to figure out if either fighter inflicts damage on the other. So what we're going to do here is I'm going to roll a actually let's back up here. I'm going to put the offensive decider on Benitez and the defense on Armstrong. It doesn't mean one's on offense, one's on defense. It's just to identify the 50-50 split. So we need to see who has the first action of the fight, or the first round. It's offense. So Benitez will get first action in the round. And then we look at his work rate number. Okay, so we'll put a 1 for first action here and a 2 for second action of the round for Armstrong. The roll will go black and blue, 73. And it's equal to 73, so he will inflict damage. So the work rate roll of 73 will translate to a yes for damage being inflicted. So now we're going to do the damage roll. And we're going to roll a 2d6, and the damage roll is a 6. So we'll look on Benitez's card. And a 6 will come up to 5 endurance points. Let's see here. Okay, I just realized an addition to my scorecard that I'm going to need. So I've got the damage roll is a 6. There's no multiplier, so there's no multiplier roll or any multiplier KO. So the damage would be actually, okay, the opponent's damage minus would be, actually I don't need to put one in. So he rolled a 6 and that's 5 points deducted. So Armstrong's endurance is 74. So we're going to go down to Armstrong's running endurance, and he's going to go down 5 points to a 69. Okay. So he inflicts the damage. It goes against Armstrong, deducting the damage points minus his endurance. So now that that's done, we're going to have to see if Armstrong can inflict any damage onto Benitez. His number is a 75 and it's a 19, so yes. So the work rate roll of 19 comes up with a yes. The damage roll is going to be a 4. A 4 is just outside the multiplier, so there's no multiplier. No multiplier roll or KO. A lot of times you're not going to use these 2 rows here unless you have a multiplier to work with. So, and the number of points on a roll of 4 for Armstrong is to inflict 8 points of damage. So we're going to subtract 8 points from the 78 starting of Benitez. So Benitez is down to a 70. So Now we're going to roll for the score of the round. Since both fighters inflicted damage, each fight we're going to use the offense-defense to see which boxer gets the scoring from which table to look up. So each boxer has an equal chance to have the scoring come off of their card. It does not matter how many damage points were inflicted, with the exception of the multiplier. If both inflicted damage, if one used a multiplier and the other one didn't, then the one inflicting the damage on with the multiplier will have a unanimous score for the round of 10-8 instead of the 10-9. But what will happen is if you're still going to roll 3 times, but you don't need the offense-defense. So you would roll on, let's say, Armstrong inflicted damage with a multiplier and Benitez didn't. Then we're going to roll and read off of Armstrong's card all 3 times. And if it's a 1-10-9, it turns into a 1-10-8. A lost 9-10 turns into a 1-10-9. So he's going to win the round and get points by an advantage regardless. It's just going to be modified for that. Now that might be something that I might want to consider having a separate column for no multiplier and the multiplier to kind of figure out how to do that. So that's something we're going to have to discuss. If both boxers inflict damage with the multiplier, then right now I would be tempted to call it a tie if a KO is not involved. If the multiplier it's going to be a 1 through 6, and we can figure out, maybe the highest dice roll would get the advantage in the round. But that's something we'll have to decide. But anyways, both inflicted damage, so we're going to roll. So offense 8. So that would be on Benitez. 8 for scoring. Oh, he lost at 10-9. So we'll put a 9 and a 10 for Armstrong in that round for that judge. Benitez will have it'll be a defense. So that's on Armstrong's card over the 9, and he won 10-9. And then another roll will be offense off of Benitez's card, 5, and he won 10-9. So there's how the judges' scoring will be determined for that round. And then we go on to the next round. So we'll roll for first action. And it goes to offense. So Benitez again getting the first crack at a knockdown. Work rate is an 83, which is above the work rate roll of 73. So that is a negative. So no damage will be inflicted on Armstrong for that round by Benitez. So now we'll go right to Armstrong. And the roll is an 83. Higher than his endurance of 70 or work rate number 75. So he will not inflict damage as well. So they both did not inflict damage that round. No points get deducted from the endurance. And now we go straight to the judges table. It'll be whatever the roll is. So offense 5. So that'll be on Benitez's card of 5. He wins 10-9 by judge 1. Offense 7. He wins 10-9. And offense 11. Also a 10-9 in favor of Benitez. So he's slightly ahead on the judges' cards going into round 3. And first action will go to, it'll be going to Armstrong this time. So Armstrong, we'll see if he can inflict damage. His roll is a 0-1, so yes, he will. And we'll roll the damage, which is an 11. So on Armstrong, an 11 is a multiplier. So multiplier, yes, no. I'll have written as yes. The multiplier roll is a 1d6. That is a 6. So we multiply 6 by his, we're still got to roll the, okay, the damage roll was 11, so that's a multiplier. So now we need to roll, it's the intensity. Okay, so we multiply 6 by the intensity of 6, so that gives the opponent damage of 36. So we subtract 36 from Benitez's card, and he is down to a 34. He did not, so now we'll go to Benitez, and we'll see if he'll be able to inflict any damage. He has a 75, which is above his work rate, which is a no. So Armstrong's endurance will not go down. So the endurance rates now are 69 for Armstrong, 34 for Benitez. And now we'll roll for the score. Actually, the judges will be completely in favor of Armstrong. He'll win all the cards. But what we'll do is we're going to roll on Armstrong's card and see if any 10-8s turn into 10-9s. And that'll be determined by if he hits the lost. So roll 1 is an 8. Nope, he'll need a 3 or a 10. That's another 8. And a 7. So all 3 cards will be 10-8 in favor of Armstrong. So now we go to round 4. First action will go to the fighter labeled for defense, so that'll be Armstrong once again. And the work rate roll will be a 96. So that is a no. He will not inflict damage. So now we go to Benitez to see if he'll inflict damage. His roll is an 04, so yes, he will. We'll look at his damage roll, and that is a 4. 4 is 7 endurance points. So the multiplier came up no, and damage is 7. We'll subtract that from Armstrong. He's down to a 62, and nothing taken away from Benitez, who remains at a 34. So Benitez inflicted damage during the round. So we will see if any of these 3 will result in a 10-9. So a 3 or a 10. There's a 10. There's an 8. And there's an 8. So one judge scores it 10-9 in favor of Benitez, and the other 2 judges are a 10-8. Since when they inflict damage, if it's a close round, then it's up to the judges to decide the 10-9. If somebody inflicts damage, it's definitely obvious that somebody has a decided advantage in that round, and that's where we get the 10-8s from. That's something we can also discuss. The 10-8 versus 10-9, and also the I think there was one other note that I wanted to discuss, but it'll come to me. So let's go to round 5. First action, and we're going to do 12 rounds. Offense is Benitez, so he'll get the first action. And the roll is a 60 or a 36, so yes, he will inflict damage. And the damage roll is a 10. Damage roll in 10 is 7 damage points, which will put Armstrong down to a 55. And now it is Armstrong's turn. His roll is a 22, so yes, he'll inflict damage. And the roll is a 10, which is 8 points. Let's see, 8. So subtract 8. So Benitez is down to a 26. Armstrong's at a 55. They both inflicted damage. They both didn't have a multiplier, so it'll be considered a close round. So we'll go straight to the judges for all of it. Offense will read off of Benitez's card 6. He lost 9-10. So Benitez gets a 9-10 for Armstrong. Second judge will be off of Armstrong's card 7, which is a 10-9. And offense 4, so off of Benitez's card, a 4 is a 10-9 win for Benitez. So we go to round 6. I did a baseball game video right before this one that you'll get to, so that's why it's my voice is a little rough here. Okay, first action will be Armstrong. As we get into the later portions of the fight, whoever's endurance goes down to 0. That's it. Even if the other boxer didn't get a chance in that round, that's why the first action in each round is so important. So let's do the 36 for the work rate. So yes, he'll inflict damage. Benitez, let's see here. A 5 is the damage roll. Armstrong, which is 7 points. So that puts Benitez down to a 19. And let's go to the roll for Armstrong. Will he inflict damage? It's a 31. I'm sorry, or Benitez. Yes, he will. But I think it's important to have the 8s if one inflicts damage and one doesn't, because not only in the event that we do not have either fighter depleting their endurance points during the bout, it's an indication that the boxer who did inflict the most damage will more than likely be the one who's going to win on a judge's scorecard. So I think that's important to have the 10-8 versus the 10-9 the way I've been describing it so far. So let's roll the damage roll here. And it is an 11 for Benitez, which is a multiplier. And his intensity is 5, and we'll multiply that by 2. So that's a yes. Roll is 2. No KO. So that'll be 10 points down. Armstrong's down to a 45. So in this case, both inflicted damage, but Benitez had his multiplier used, so he is going to have the advantage in the judges' scoring for Benitez. So anything, it'll be a 10-8 unless he gets a 6 or an 8. Then it'll be a 10-9. Oops. 4. So 6 or 8 is what we're looking for. There's a 6. And a 10. So we'll have 2 10-8s and a 10-9 in favor of let's see. Yeah, we had a 9 and 2 8s in favor of Benitez because he used the multiplier. Okay, let's go on to round number 7. Benitez is getting kind of weary here. So defense will mean that Armstrong, again, 4 out of the last 5 rounds, started off with an advantage. Let's see if he can take advantage of it and put him out now. A 19, yes, he will inflict damage. This is where it's going to come down to here. The damage roll is 7, so that'll be 6 endurance points. That'll put him down to a 13. So let's see what Benitez can do in round 7. And that's a 28. And that'll be a yes. So he'll inflict damage on Armstrong. His roll is a 5, which will be 6 points. And that'll put him down to a 39. They both inflicted damage. Neither of them had a multiplier, so we'll go straight to the judges for the scoring in this round. Defense will be Armstrong's card 10, which is a lost 10-9. So he'll get a 9, and a 10 will go to Benitez. The second judge will be offense 6. So off of Benitez's card, 6 is a lost 10-9. So it'll be a 10-9 for Armstrong. on that one. So that cancels each other out. And offense, so that'll be off of Benitez, 10. He won 10-9. All right, off we go to round number 8. Defense, again, Armstrong getting the upper hand. Let's see if he can just put him away here. Got a roll of 15, so yes, he will inflict damage. And the damage roll is a 6. Armstrong, a 6 is 6 points, no multiplier. And he is down now to a 7. We're into the single digits now for Benitez. Let's see if he can inflict any damage. And that'll be a 98. So no, it's above his number. So no damage roll. Nothing of the sort, no damage. So he'll stay at a 39 for Armstrong. And as far as the scoring, Armstrong inflicted damage. Benitez did not. We'll stay on Armstrong's card for all 3. It'll be a 10-8 or a 10-9 if the loss is hit. So we've got a 4. So that'll be a 10-8. A 4. That'll be a 10-8. So we need a 3 or 10 and 8. Nope. So the judges will score at 10-8 on all 3 cards. And we'll go to round 9. This may be the end of the fight right here. Offense. No, Benitez showing a little bit of life. He is going to get first action. A 0-0. So yes, he will be inflicting damage. And the damage roll is a 6 for Benitez, which is 5 points. That'll put Armstrong down to a 34. So let's see if Armstrong now can put him away since Benitez had his chance. 16. So second action, 16 is a yes. And the damage roll is a 7. That is 6 points. And that puts him to a 1. So it looks like a 10th round ending of the fight is probably going to be in order. But we still need to roll for the judge's score. Both inflicted damage. Neither of them used a multiplier, so we're going to go to the judges. Defense for Armstrong, 8 is a 1-10-9. Offense, 7 on Will Benitez's card is a 1-10-9. So 10 goes to Benitez, 9 for Armstrong. And defense, Armstrong's 4 is a 1-10-9. All right, here we go. Offense. So Benitez is going to have a chance. His legs are a little wobbly, but he's going to give it the old college try here. 83, black and blue, is above the work rate. He will not inflict damage. Let's see if Armstrong can put him away. 72 is below the 74. So that's a yes. So it appears this is going to be it. The roll is going to be a 6. That'll be 6 endurance points. And that puts him at a -5. That is it, ladies and gentlemen. Armstrong wins in the 10th round by a KO. And once we have the charts out, you can roll your 2d6 to decide. It'll tell you whether it's going to be a KO, a TKO, if the corner stopped the fight. There'll be a narrative there that you can work off of. But Benitez, or Armstrong has won the fight against Benitez. But just for grins and giggles, let's look at the judges' card here. 10, 20, 30, 40, 57, 66, 66 and 17 is 83. 10, 20, 30, 40, 67 and 16 is 83. 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70. 86 and 9 is 95. That can't be right. 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60. And 16 is 76, 85. So 83, 83, 85. 10, 20, 30, 40, 50. And 50 and 36 is 86. 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, and 18 is 68, and 16 is 86, 10, 20, 30, 48, 56, 65, 8, let's go this way, 18, 28, 36, 45, 53, 62, 72, 82. So one judge had an 86-83 Armstrong, Judge 2, 86-83 Armstrong, Judge 3, 85-82 Benitez. So it would look like a split decision for Armstrong, but those 10-8s helped, and I think that's going to be a key to help differentiate when a boxer inflicts more damage than the other. Still a couple minor kinks to work out here as far as the multiplier and the judges scoring for when both boxers have multipliers. Do we just want to keep it a tie regardless of the multiplier amount? That's probably the easiest way to go. And then when one inflicts damage and the other doesn't, it's automatically a 10-8. And if it hits the lost, it'll go to a 10-9. So there you have it. Fight card boxing played on a baseball field, since I don't have my tray yet for boxing. So, all right. Thanks for watching. We'll see you later.